Okay, so this is a video that I should have been made a long time ago, but I kept forgetting, so I'm about to make it now. I was gonna put it on the part 5 channel, but I don't really think it belongs there, and I need to have a channel for like the Cash for Kids system stuff, the specific stuff about that, since I'm gonna be deleting all the abuse evidence videos at 18 anyway, for obvious reasons. Plus, if you've been here since the part 1 channel, you would know that the point of the channels was never for views or any of that. And it was actually in the hopes of getting help, which, as you know, that went absolutely nowhere. One social worker in NC wouldn't watch the videos. In GA, the CPS system just snitched about the fact that I even had 1,950 plus abuse evidence videos and got most of them deleted. And they were deleted by 32322. There may be some background noise. Some people just came up to my tent talking about, honestly, I don't know what they were talking about. The usual stuff people do around here where they walk up to you talking, you don't know what the heck they're talking about. But all I got was something about me supposedly parking at somebody's house, which I have no car. And then some dude's girlfriend wanted to come to this area to have a birthday party, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me either, but I don't know what in the world, really. So maybe a birthday party is about to happen. Maybe it was just some people walking up saying crazy stuff like what commonly happens around here. But anywho, so many people think that the charge of quote unquote CP, I say quote unquote because I really don't even like that term. And a lot of people have said that child sexual abuse imagery is better. But I mean, really, you could call all of it sexual abuse imagery because everybody in there, when it comes to any type of quote unquote porn, is like people who were tricked in, already felt bad about their stuff because they had already been sexually abused. They were born into sex trafficking, kidnapped in. The dudes were tricked into it. The females were too. It's really the people that you don't see that actually have say. So everybody else in there is pretty much just victims. But anywho, that's another story, which I like to call child sex abuse imagery. Is to protect the child. I might have already said that, but I don't know. But it's actually not, especially since there is no system put in place to protect people under 18 or really anyone but perpetrators. When a kid has to sell news to be able to eat because they aren't allowed to or aren't old enough to work, or even if their parents just don't have a lot of money, they get charged with production of CP. Think about the look on a hiring manager's face when the victim finally is able to apply for jobs. Meanwhile, the perpetrators get away free and the kid is charged and locked up. And I've met a whole bunch. Oh, I already have this in here. I was about to start telling the story, but then I remember. And I seen that actually that's already in here. So, anywho. Not to mention, people with sexual issues and adverse sexual attractions have already been sexually abused or abused in some other form. Okay, what point? Oh, yeah, the point I was trying to make there was being attracted to older people. So the kids, well, I mean, it could go the same way with someone who's attracted to younger people, but the kids who are seeking out the older people are either doing it because they want attention and their parents aren't giving it to them and stuff like that, or because they're actually attracted to older people because they've already been sexually abused. I've met many people, some who weren't even teenagers yet, who were taken advantage of by older people or had to do sex work for money, and they were charged with crimes against children. That crime being production of CP. Because I have met a lot of kids, people who aren't even teenagers, not that that makes it any better, who were charged with production of child porn. And it's honestly crazy because the people who really are making it, not only they're not going to jail, they're not being looked for, they're not getting charged, and they're getting away with it. And if they are caught with any, they're only in jail or on probation or whatever for 3 months, if even that. After this happens, the police spend 2 to 3 years going through the victim's phone, looking for more things to charge them with, and then don't allow the victims to use devices for years. So yeah, this is how this goes every time I've seen it. So the kid will get their phone taken by the police, and the police will have their phone in the wait a minute, in the, what is it called, the police officer, something like that. I don't even remember what in the world, but their phone will be there. And then I guess whenever the police feel like it, or whoever that works there, whose job is to do that, feels like it, they go through it, and they just go through every inch of the phone that they can, and probably look back over some things to quote unquote find more evidence. Who knows how true that even is, because they're probably just downloading the stuff to keep, and then just going through other personal stuff that has really nothing to do with anything. And then while the police are going through the kid's phone, they're not allowed to have one. And then there's some who aren't allowed to have one till 18. And or sometimes they'll get that phone back after the 2 to 3 years plus is up. But other times the police keep the phone and they just have to get a whole nother phone, which I really don't like the sound of that, because I can only even imagine what the police are doing, because I mean, of course they work with the people who really are doing the trafficking and stuff. Okay, so I think I already read that. To keep them from making any more, it was supposed to say quote unquote child porn. Yet adults who are found with or make actual child sexual abuse imagery don't even get charged. I heard of a dude getting found with 1,000 terabytes of child sexual abuse imagery, and he got 3 months. Because, of course, the U.S. loves giving life sentences to children only, which is also something that commonly happens. Like, any little thing that somebody who's a teenager or even younger does, they'll get a life sentence. So 20 years, but they try to not call it a life sentence when the person is already really young, because they expect them to still be alive by then. But if you're like in your 40s or something and you get 20 years, then they want to call it a life sentence, because they don't know if you'll actually live that long. But I mean, it could go either way, because it's like they try to sugarcoat stuff and like make it sound less bad when they do it to kids. So there's that. Then what else was it? It was something else. Oh yeah. Then there's the things where, like, I've talked about this before, where people who were 11 or whatever age defend themselves, or even end up having to kill a sexual abuser, and then they get 5 years or more. I've seen some teenage boys get charged with 5 years for stealing chips and stuff. So, not get charged with 5 years. That's not how that goes. Anyway, they got 5 years. That's the point. Okay, so anywho, people under 18 are only seen as children up until adults want to take advantage of us. I should have said them. Either way, I mean, I guess I could still say us. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say.